We're here at Google I/O 19, and I'm Jessica. I'm sitting right in front of the Google Assistant Sandbox, where there's tons of cool demos and people we could chat with. Let's go inside. We're inside the Sand Dome now, and we're here with Danny. Danny, tell me about Google Assistant.
Hi, so the Google Assistant is an AI-powered digital assistant that is kind of your own little assistant with the power of Google. And the purpose of it is to help users get things done.
That's awesome. So how can users interact with the Google Assistant? Like on what mediums?
So right now, the Google Assistant is available across over 1 billion devices and over 1,500 types of devices. So this is everything from voice-activated speakers, smart displays, wearables, headphones.
Oh my gosh, that's super exciting. So here in the Sand Dome today that we have, what are we showing off?
So in this space, we're showing different device types that developers can build for, anything from voice only to voice and screens. But around the entire sandbox, we're actually showing new integrations for everything for Android developers, web and video developers, device developers, and just assistant-specific developers.
Oh my gosh, that's super cool. Thank you so much, Jenny, for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. We're here in the App Actions section of the Sand Dome, and we're here with Kunal. Kunal, what are App Actions?
Yeah, App Actions let you shortcut your users into different parts of your Android app using the power of the Google Assistant.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so exciting. So as an Android developer, what do I have to do in order to connect my Android app to Google Assistant?
Yeah, so the steps are really simple. So first, Google has these things called built-in intents. And what they do is they take care of all the natural language understanding for you. And they'll extract different parameters on your behalf. Next, all you do is create one file called actions.xml. And in that file, you take different parameters that we extract from language for you, and you map them to Android deep links. Just like that, Google Assistant can open different parts of your app and pre-fill data for users, which saves them time and saves them taps.
Oh my gosh, that sounds super exciting, especially when it comes to like not having to handle natural language processing. Google Assistant handles that for you. That's fantastic. So can you tell me about how does that compare the Android kind of experience compared to a voice experience? What are the benefits to that for a user?
So for a user, it allows you to get where you want faster. So essentially, App Actions is going to save you time and effort. So something that might have taken 10 taps, like for example, sending a payment to someone, by sending things in natural language in just one sentence, you'll have to avoid saying who you want to send the money to, how much you want to send, and so on.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know we have a demo of s'mores, and so I know there's multiple steps. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so over here, we set up a demo for a s'mores ordering app, where you can customize a delicious s'more, choosing things like graham crackers, chocolate, etc. And you'll notice that going through the entire ordering flow takes about 10 to 15 taps. But using App Actions, you can try again and say something like, order an Oreo s'more from S'mores app. And it takes you straight to the final screen without having to go through the full ordering flow, saving you time and taps.
Oh my gosh, I could definitely see for the users it's been really exciting. And then for developers, this just means that users are more likely to come back to their Android app, which is great. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. So we're here in the template section for how-to guides, and I'm here with Eileen. Eileen, can you tell me all about the space?
This space is for content creators who wants to bring rich experiences for search and assistant by using structured data program. And we have two methods of building structured data. One is web markup, and then the other is templates.
That's exciting. So if I'm a developer and I have a website and I have content on there, how can I connect that content to Google Assistant?
Great question. So basically all you need to do is to use a web markup and structure your content, and you would get rich experiences on search and assistant. And specifically for how-to, we are so happy to announce our support of how-to structure data program as of yesterday at I/O. And now as a web developer, you can go ahead and mark up your website with text, images, and videos and get these rich experiences on search and the assistant.
Oh my gosh, so you do this markup language once, and it's available not just on Assistant, but you get rich displays on search too.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. So once if I'm a content provider or creator and I don't have access to my website, or I have a YouTube video and I want to connect all the information to Google Assistant, can that happen?
Yes, actually amazing question. For that we have a solution for templates. So specifically for the how-to tutorials, we built a how-to video template. If you maintain your content mostly on YouTube, you can come and fill in a basic spreadsheet by following the actions on Google how-to template. You can put your YouTube URL, anchor it by the timestamp at the steps, and out of the box you would get rich assistant action experiences.
That's great. And so do I have to worry about the natural language processing when it comes to this, or does Google handle that for me?
Actually, Google handles it for you, both for markup and the templates. We take care of natural language understanding, and also we handle the discovery of your content. You don't need to worry about anything like NLU or anything to do with machine learning.
That's great. And can you tell me a little bit more about the demo that we have here today?
Sure, of course. So for the demo today, we built a sample website, how to make an origami. For the first method, we created a website and we marked it up. And for the second method, we built a YouTube video and created a spreadsheet. So all users have to do is naturally ask how to make origami, and they would get these rich experiences without doing any additional custom work. And users can engage with this assistant with voice interactions, and this gives you out-of-the-box speech recognition.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Eileen, for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Okay, let's keep going. We're at the interactive canvas section of the Dome, and I'm here with Jacob. Jacob, can you tell me more about the space?
Yeah, absolutely. So interactive canvas is a powerful new developer capability that lets our developers get full control over what they're putting on the screen of the device. You can do this using existing web technologies, and we think it's really great for building games for the assistant.
Okay, when you say existing web technologies, like what type of tools are we talking about?
Absolutely. So anything that you have used on the web before, so if it's any high-level frameworks like Angular, all that works here. So if you built anything on the web, you'll feel right at home building for Canvas.
That is super exciting. So if I already have an action and it's all about playing games, can I add this onto that?
Absolutely. So you can think of interactive canvas as a visual layer on top of your conversation actions. So to incorporate it, it's just a matter of adding another type of response in your existing webhook.
Right. And when it comes to designing this, is this just touch only? Is this voice? Is it a combination? What's the goal of this?
Yeah, so as you may have seen in the demo, it offers really rich visual experiences to our users, and we're really excited to see what you can build in terms of combining both voice and touch into your actions.
Awesome. Can you tell me more about this specific demo? Because it's all jungle themed. It seems really exciting. Can you tell me more about the design?
Yeah, absolutely. So we built this game to showcase all the fun things you can use Canvas for, and we did it in the context of a jungle-themed adventure game. So you go through the jungle, you're trying to navigate through this temple and escape eventually, but it all turns out it was a dream all along.
Oh my gosh, that's super exciting. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's keep going. So we're here in the local home SDK section, and I'm here with Carl. Carl, can you tell me about this space?
Sure. So this is the local home SDK area, and we're showing a visual representation of the life of a local query using the local home SDK versus the normal cloud query with the smart home API.
So what's different for developers when it comes to the local SDK compared to before?
Great question. So with the Smart Home API, that's the primary way developers integrate their smart devices to the Google Assistant. And that's a cloud-to-cloud integration, where after Assistant processes that command, we send it to the developer to ultimately fulfill it to the end device. With the local home SDK, now we give them the ability to do that same fulfillment over on the user's local area network, providing huge increases in speed and reliability.
Oh my gosh, I could definitely see from the user's perspective, it'd be a lot faster, right?
Totally, yeah, because now we don't need to go to multiple clouds. We can do this a lot faster on the local network.
Okay, Carl, can you show us a demo?
Absolutely. So this train represents the life of a local query, and this train represents the one that goes from the cloud-to-cloud integration using the Smart Home API. So what we see happens is when a user says a command, for example, turn on the lights, both go to the Assistant server to be processed in the same way. But if we know the device is locally controllable, we then send that JSON payload back down to the Google Home device where we pull up the developer's JavaScript to process it and ultimately fulfill it, and there it is, the light is on. And what we see with the other train is that the cloud-to-cloud integration still works, however, it just takes longer to get to the same point. So this really demonstrates the increase in speed that we can get with the local home SDK.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome, Carl. Thank you so much. That was really cool. Thanks for chatting with us.
Thanks for coming by.
Okay, let's keep going. We're at the smart home section, and I'm talking to Umar. Umar, can you tell me about this space?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're showcasing over here is the new functionality that we've come out with for our partners to utilize to enable a assistant experience for their products.
Okay, so this is all about marrying kind of hardware and Google Assistant, right?
Absolutely. So this is about us being able to, or as a user, being able to control the devices that we use on a daily basis in our households.
And so if I'm a hardware developer and I have this stuff, how do I connect my hardware to Google Assistant? What things should I keep in mind?
Definitely. So what we have is we have device types and we have traits, right? So you can think about it from a perspective of a light bulb. A light bulb is the identity of the device, which is the type, and you have traits, which is functionality for that light bulb. You have brightness, you have on-off, you have color. Once you marry the two together, you have a fairly robust product. So what we're asking our developers to do is bring certain hardware that enables certain functionality like that, and then using the traits that we've offered, create an assistant experience around it.
That's awesome. But as a hardware developer, so I connect everything, do I have to worry about how the user is going to interact with my action, or is that something Google Assistant handles for me?
The Google Assistant will handle that for the user. As new languages are supported, as new locales are enabled, all of that is inherited as part of the smart home track, which is the great thing about it.
Oh my gosh, I know we have a cookie demo here, and I have a sweet tooth, so I'd love for you to talk more about the cookie demo.
Absolutely. The cookie demo has actually been very popular today, but what we're trying to showcase with this is a very key feature, which is two-factor authentication. Now, two-factor authentication is really needed for security devices like doors, garage doors, anything that could be a security thing needs to have this additional layer of security on top of it. And what we do is we give you the ability to add 2FA to any type of trait that you've implemented.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Amar. Really appreciate you sharing all this with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. If you're excited like me to start building for Google Assistant, check out our docs, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next year.